Testing, testing. Why does it not? Oh, this is a different one. YouTube. So, okay, this is not what I want to do. The channel. There's the live one, which is a regular one. That's good. And I've got this one, and it's also working fine. All right. I think now I have finally cracked the code on this YouTube streaming thing, and we are live. And this time around, I think it should be exactly what I wanted to. Thank you for your patience. And we are now live. I'm gonna get a glass of water as we start today's session. So, morning everyone who's in my time zone, and good afternoon or good evening to you folks in Singapore and other parts of the world. We're gonna have some fun today. So this time around, I think we are just running with this channel. I think we are looking good. Let me just make sure that all of my settings are... What is going on now? Live stream, live. That's interesting, but I guess it's working, so, which is good. It's a little bit strange the way the software works here, but I'm still a little bit new to this, but it is what it is. Okay, just want to make sure that we are good. So the tank behind me is in the process of a complete, well, it's a process of a setup. First of all, it's a fairly new tank. It's only about 6 months old, and I'll play around with the colors and the settings so you can actually see things live. But what I am working on is redoing the aquascape over here. So you can see behind me that it's a little bit of a mess. There's still a lot of corals that are right now just kind of moved up against the glass. There's a few places that I'm redoing, but what's special about this aquascape is that all of my corals are on little rods. So each coral can be picked up and moved from one place on the rock onto another. And for this, I am using this type of drill, first of all. So this is how I make holes in the rocks, and actually I think we might be able to do that today. And I also use the following little rods. So this is what the rod looks like. So just a little piece of acrylic. I think it's I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it's a one. I want to say it's 1/8, most likely. Those who are empirical. And I find that that's a pretty good size. Oh, I need to be a little bit louder. I hear you. Hold on a second. Let me see what I can do to increase the gain here. Thanks for the heads up. Like I said, I'm a little bit new to this right now. But hold on a second. Audio level. How about now? This should be better now. Testing. Perfect. All right. I think this should be a little bit better. Okay. Let me know if right now the audio is better. If needed, I can increase it a little further, but I'll wait for you to let me know. And as we are setting things up. I just want to make sure that we've got a few folks over here. So there's some on this channel. Test there. And we've got a few folks over here. That's interesting. Like I said, this is going to be interactive. So I'm actually going to be moving around a lot and taking things out of the tank. So one little trivia that some of my viewers know, I almost always, not always, but almost always, I use gloves whenever I go with my hands into the tank. The reason for that is when I started out this hobby, which was about 15 years ago, this is when I started out saltwater. I didn't know any better, and I was putting my hands and touching corals, and I never really had any problem until one day I started to develop a little bit of a reaction. So like my thumb started to get really red, and it was, let's just say it was unpleasant, and it was a feeling that stayed for a while. So what and now my camera thinks that I'm giving you thumbs up. That's hilarious. And after a while, I realized that this was actually a reaction to coral. And this can happen to anybody. I know a lot of reefers that don't develop any issues, and I know a lot of reefers that do. And I hope that you will be the one that don't, but now I always put on the gloves. And another little trick, because you don't want anything to go inside, like you don't really want water in your glove. It just becomes very unpleasant, and after a while you cannot use gloves anymore because your hand becomes too wet. So you just take this rubber band, you wrap around twice around it, and this way you're good for a while. Now you don't want to do that for too long, because after the blood starts to not get to the hand, and it becomes a little bit problematic. But for now, that is how I do it. Okay, let me make sure that we are good. I think we are. And we are going to start actually messing around with the tank. So, as I was saying, the main point here is figuring out what to do with the aquascape. I've worked a fair bit on the left side of the tank, so anything over here is starting to look pretty decent. And when I talk about what does it mean for things to be decent, is I don't really want to see any rock. I only want to see coral. And because all the corals are on those little pegs, that is actually it's a tedious process. It's a lot of work, but eventually I can kind of do this. And I'll guide you through this process with this rock over here. So you see this rock in the middle. This rock is currently doesn't have that many holes in it, and it only has two corals kind of attached. So I'm going to work on this one, but also one thing that I've tried to do this yesterday, but failed miserably. I'd love to elevate it a little bit. This is too low for my liking. So because I want the corals to be a little bit higher. It's a big tank, and it's a pretty decent front to back, and every single rock here I can actually remove and take out. This is one of my principles for this aquarium, is I want to make sure that I can actually go in and pick anything up, and should there be any issue with aiptasia, or I need to remove a coral that's encrusting, or anything else. Like this is just, it's super, super important to me. So the two rocks that have been my candidates are this rock over here, which is actually on a little bit of an elevation, but the other rock is this one on the left, which is kind of a little bit taller, and I do like this about it. But yesterday when I was trying to move it back and forth, for whatever reason, when I placed it in here, it was actually lower. Like, this is the stupid thing with all the corals and all the rocks, is that whenever anything is in the water compresses things. So it's very hard to gauge the distance, the size of corals and whatnot. But I'm pretty stubborn, so I'm going to try and do this once again. So we're coming along for a ride here. We are going to need a few towels. So that's another thing. I'm using this chair so I can actually hop on the tank if need may be, and I will need to, never mind the biceps, I need to get pretty deep in there. What I'm also going to do, I think I'm going to raise a little bit the light, just so that it's going to be easier for us to work on. So please, and this is where, this is so heavy. This is actually very, very heavy, but it is what it is. So I think like this is going to be easier to go in and out. And we are going to first open up the space in front, so you can actually, so you can move things around a little bit. So for this, I'm going to take a few corals on the right, and we are going to do that. So hold on a sec. If anybody has any questions, feel free to write them in the comments, and hopefully I'll get to this whenever I can. So one thing that makes things a lot easier for me is these tweezers. So this is a special color. This is the Hulk edition. You can't find it on the website yet, but if you are interested, let me know. This is the tweezers that I make. They're on treasurecorals.com, and you can see that they float. It's my own design. Took a while to properly come up with the nice feel and dexterity of this thing, but look at that. I can actually do all of these things here, and I would not have a tank without it, honestly. Okay, I'm going to move this coral all the way in the corner for now. I'm gonna open up the space here. Get this guy over here. Get this guy a little bit over here. The corals are okay with a little bit of just moving back and forth. That's not gonna be a big deal. Now, what I'm thinking is I want to slide this rock forward, and then I will bring another rock. I want to bring that big rock in there instead. But I still need to open up a lot more space. So I think I'm gonna take this guy, because this is a big rock, sorry, big coral. Look at how big this is. I'm gonna place him right here, if I will find the space. I think it's okay for now. Now, I will also take these guys, move them up a little closer towards the window. So you see, this is what I'm talking about. You can see here, this is the coral. And this coral is on that same rod that I was talking about. Now, I'm gonna place this guy over here. I'm gonna take this one. I'm gonna also, I think I want to clean it up a little bit as well because, or just maybe, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this rock yet, but, sorry, with this coral yet, but I will just stash him right over here. We'll get it stirring eventually. Okay. And now we have this rock that is movable. Ooh, and I had a, so look at this. This is what I'm talking about. So I can easily move things around and just kind of place it right here. I also have found this Aiptasia here, which, actually let's take care of the Aiptasia right now. So I just do this. See how easy it is? And then I can pick it up and I can take the tweezers, sorry, not the tweezers, the, okay, first of all, I will, the cutters, and I will very carefully break off that piece of rock that has the Aiptasia on it. Beautiful. That is exactly what I wanted. And as I have it in my hands, I can just confirm. So this is the rock right over here. And I've got my drill. I'll just make a few more holes in it while it's still handy. If I'll be able to, obviously. So, right, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, 5, 6, and 7. So I've got 7 holes in here that later on I can do something with. But that is the rock. I'm gonna try and place it back. So what I want to do next is, and I forgot why I even took it out, but maybe I did it because of the okay, so you see you can easily just place it back in. Hold on. And this is pretty cool. I like it. But the goal now is to try and take that rock over here, which is narrower. It's actually 3 rocks in one. I'm gonna try and place them in this position here. So that is my goal. I'll try to do that shortly. But before we do this, I'm gonna try and move things a little bit around. Right over here. Sorry for the view. Okay, before we are going to do this, I will remove the coral from this tank as well, because if I don't do this, things will get it's going to be too hard for me to move things around, and I may accidentally break something. Look at this guy. This is the orange passion. This is my absolute favorite coral. So I'm just going to carefully place it right over here. Now let's take a look at this structure here. This is going to be painful, because this is not one rock. This is actually 3 rocks all connected together. But if there is a will, there is a way. Now imagine that this is how long it takes for, oh yeah, so see, I've just removed the top portion already, which is fine. I'm gonna try and place it, where do I place it? I don't know, I'm gonna carefully position it this way. Now I'm gonna take the back rock, and this back rock is going to go all the way over here. It's going to be placed on top, just like so. I'm not sure I like it too much, but that's how it is. And then this is the front piece. So front piece is going to go over here, and I will see, this is what I'm talking about. Now this piece appears to be taller than the other one, so this is what I hate about this aquascaping thing. So, all right, I'll just position this over here, and then I will come down to actually see what I'm dealing with here. You know what? This is actually not horrible yet, but I haven't clicked the rocks in, so that's why it's a little bit on the taller side of things. Now let me kind of come down and see why oh why this is actually, it's that same effect. So I've moved these two rocks twice. Very brave to do this live on YouTube, Dmitry. My wife and I were to try the whole thing would be flipped out. Yeah, well, it's not my first rodeo. Thanks. Now, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find the rock that's kind of the same level as the one on the left. And I want the lower rock to be over here, because otherwise I won't be able to see a lot of the rock structure on the left side. So let's take another look, and we're gonna try something. Also, since you are observing this, I will try to do something else. I will try and change the color of what you're looking at. This way you will, I think, appreciate the lighting a little bit more. So let's get a little bit closer to, yeah, something like this. So we're gonna go 14K here. Gonna go a little bit of this. I think this is looking a little bit better. What do you think? And yeah, I think this is gonna be a little bit more fun for you to take a look at. It wouldn't be the same without having a dog nearby. So if you will see a dog, then that's how it is. All right, let's continue with this process. So what did we just do? We switched those two rocks. I still am not too happy with obviously how this rock is positioned, because it is not hooked in yet. So I'm gonna try and do this one more time. I will hook this thing here, which I just did, and then the one in front has a hole somewhere there, which is right over here. I can feel it with my fingers now. I'm gonna have to do just that. I will try and hook it up with my fingers. This is like doing live surgery on air, but I think I've done it. Now, this is exactly what I was talking about. This is, it's weird. Okay, let's place the orange passion right over here for now so that we don't disturb it. And why is this piece of rock taller now than the one behind it? I don't understand that. This is, I've been doing it twice now, and I don't understand why that is the case, because here, this piece of rock is actually on another piece of rock that's flat. So it should be taller, but it does not appear to be. And I don't understand why that is the case at all. All right, let me come down once again. Let me see. Okay, so it's got a little bit of, so it's actually a lower rock, but it's got that little thing that's protruding upwards. So you know what? We're gonna stick with this. I'm gonna move this piece of rock right over here. I might need to, it's easier to not lift it. Can you imagine if I drop something on live TV and that would be a disaster. Okay, that's a little bit better, and this is kind of how it's starting to shape up. So a little bit better, a little bit better. We're gonna work with that rock a little bit more, because remember also that the rock right now is, you know, a certain height, but things are gonna go on top of it. Okay, now I'm not sure I like this guy too much yet, but what we need to do before I'm gonna do anything else is I need to now slow down the flow a lot more. Why? Because what's happening is it's making it very hard. So let's change it to 1% on the on this. I'm gonna make it to constant speed of 0, and I'm gonna make this 0. It doesn't allow it. So I'm using a Mobius app. Okay, so I've just turned off both of my MP60s. I don't like that it's kind of too purple-ish yet for my taste. So let's see if we can change it up a little bit. So maybe like something like this. Okay, I think this is looking a little bit better. Okay, so see how quiet it is? It's beautiful. It is. Lights are wider. Oh, look at that. Yes. All right, so we've done things a little bit better, but you may notice that this rock can be moved up a little bit further back. And now that I have turned off the flow, I can actually see things from the back, and I can move things around a little bit more, which is right where I want it. Right around here. Okay, this is pretty good. I think I actually like it. Now, we are going to do one more thing. We're gonna take the tweezers and we're gonna use this to gently move the sand over to the middle, because as we shift things around, as the water flow moves around, the sand inadvertently, but always moves from the front of the tank all the way to kind of the back and the crevices, or crevasses. What is it, crevices or crevasses? I don't know. I always said crevices. And it gives me an opportunity to just level things out a little bit. Now, I don't like that slashing sound of the MP40. What I'm going to do is I think I'm going to turn off the MP40 or MP60. Ooh, and I have managed to tear my glove. So I'm going to remove the glove. not going to be able to put on another glove. It just doesn't work this way. So let me just turn off the... Okay, I'll turn off the pump as well. So once you have compromised your glove, which I just did, your hand becomes wet. And when it becomes wet, you can no longer put on another glove unless it's absolutely dry. So you take your time and do this. I do have multiple sets of gloves. I have some gloves that are a little bit sturdier. Maybe whenever I move rocks, I should have probably taken that one, but I didn't. And this is the one that I'm using right now. I'm also going to change chairs here. So this way, I've got something a little bit drier and nicer. Okay, so I actually like how things are turning out. What do you think? This would be a good opportunity for me to maybe read some of your comments as I'm going to do the next round. The goal here is, for you to see what's involved in aquascaping the tank. Whenever you see a tank like this is how much work goes in there. And sometimes I question why I do what I do, but I think the end result is going to be pretty awesome. Wow. I don't know how I feel about how that front rock is a little bit bunched up over here. I may need to just slightly pivot it to bring it down, so we'll see. Always hydrate. Okay, the answer, so about the tweezers, you can buy tweezers on treasurecorals.com. I ship all over the world, and I have many folks in Germany, in UK, in Australia that have bought the tweezers. It works very well, and so I ship internationally. So if you feel like you need them, just place an order, and there's 3 colors that you can pick from. There's also the Hulk edition that I have, which is kind of cool, and if needed, you can just drop me a line. I'll send you the Hulk edition. So yes. All right. Coral shipped from Canada is beyond my comfort level. Coral you cannot ship from Canada. Unfortunately, even we cannot ship from Canada to United States, because you cannot imagine how many folks reached out about my coral who are south of the border, and every single time I'm like, I can do anything with dry goods, but not coral. So, okay, I can speak for the tweezer stuff. He's very easy to do business with on the coral side. Yes, thank you very much, Patrick. I really appreciate it. So, we need to finish our business. I have not forgotten about that one. Okay, so the glove is changed. The pump is off. This is probably the most the part that I enjoy the most about working on the tank, which is trying to. Ooh, did you see the Sohal tank? We just went after some other fish. He clearly shows who's the boss. All right, I need to change this a little bit, this live rock, and then we're gonna start placing the coral in. So why is this one not hooking up the way I'd like it to? I'm not sure, but this is sturdy. I can move things around. I like it. You know what? It's totally fine. So let's start by placing some coral wherever we can. So now that I can see things from the top, you gotta wait until the water movement subsides, and then this and place the coral right over here. So that's one. I'm gonna use the tweezers to get the other guy. Maybe this one, because this was a tall one. Where can it go? Where can it go? If I put it right over here, maybe. Why is everything a little bit? Yeah, this is not too bad. Let's get this tall guy over here, and let's find him a place in this structure. Maybe. No, this is not good. I will place a big one over here. It's always nice to have a little bit of an overhang. But I don't like how every coral is kind of leaning a little bit too much forward, so I'm gonna have to play a little bit with that as well. Okay, I have another big coral right over here, which is another one that I can probably place all the way in the back. So see how much work it is to just do this? I don't know how Adam Sandler is doing his stuff with his large aquarium. Okay, this is not, I don't know how I feel about this. Do I want it like this? Maybe. I don't like it. Let's see if I can move things a little bit over here. Get a little bit of an overhang. Okay, this is not too bad. And I have another large colony that I can probably place right over here. Okay, this I do like. So notice that we've got a nice little tall section over here. Maybe I will place the big coral here, but I cannot, for the life of me, I cannot see the hole there. So I may have to not sure what I'm gonna do yet. No, I think this guy belongs right over here. I think this is a little bit better. But I need to figure out what to do with that tall structure on the left side. That's a big question right over here. So, because I cannot put anything here that will block things behind it. So I'm going to have to do something special for that area. So let's try out my section. Over here, let's move things around and let's understand what is going on. Oh, okay, I think I found the hole now. And we are going to first try and position, sorry for the view, but I am honestly trying to do my best here. Okay, first I gotta find that. So I think you can hopefully see that because I have this peg, I need to position rock structure where it's sitting the most vertical but also the most stable on this thing. And I think this is it right here. Okay, I've got that. Now it's still leaning too much forward. I do not like this part at all. Okay, I'm gonna have to take these two rocks out, so the two corals out. Then I'm gonna maybe even lift this whole structure out of the water to try and piece these two pieces of rock together. So let them dry out a little bit. Okay, so this is the two pieces of rock, and I'm going to just place them here. And it's so much easier to do things outside of the water, but it's still not how I would like it to do. So something is still a little bit off, and I don't like this. So this is the rocks. But it's not stable. I think that is the problem. So I'm going to have to just carefully play with that area over here until I will find a solution. That's one of the joys of doing this. What is that? I think this is actually not too bad. Right over here. So we've got, let's keep moving. I'm gonna try to break off a little bit of the acrylic rod here. Let's see if it's gonna snap. Wow, that's a tough one. What if I'm gonna flip it on the other side? Go like this instead. Is it any better? I think it's actually, funny enough, this might be better. Wow. Okay, I think I've found something. Just need to. Oh yeah, this is, I think I found it. To break it off. Let's see if I can do that. All right, I think this is going to take a fair bit of time because I need to cut a piece of acrylic rod over here. Thanks. You know what? Let's disconnect. Let's see, disconnect. I think it's enough for this morning video. I just figured I'll do something different. But I will try to finish whatever I can today, and stay tuned for an actual video that I'll be posting. Thanks for joining, and chat later. Oh, something just dropped.